Tom Goodwin, Digital Darwinism, Survival of the Fittest in the Age of Business Disruption. In today's rapidly changing world, businesses must adapt or risk becoming obsolete. Digital Darwinism by Tom Goodwin takes us on a journey through this complex landscape, shedding light on how traditional companies can learn from recent disruptors' success stories. The book explores how big businesses struggle to adapt to new consumer demands and technologies, often employing a bolted-on strategy that merely adds innovations to their existing processes. Goodwin examines how big players can better understand their customers and use digital technologies to innovate and disrupt, while acknowledging constant change and uncertainty as defining elements of the digital age.
The art of adaptive success. In the fast-paced digital era, businesses must reevaluate the way they approach change. The concept of survival of the fittest urges companies to adapt quickly and embrace the unpredictability that comes with rapid global transformation. Legacy businesses that refuse to adjust or make superficial gestures towards new technologies face the risk of becoming obsolete. To stay relevant and prosper, companies must be willing to undergo fundamental changes instead of merely updating an already outdated system. Adaptation is the key to survival and success in today's rapidly changing world. But with continuous global shifts, how do companies remain strong amid such uncertainty? It's no longer about being the biggest or wielding a massive amount of resources. The decisive factor lies in the ability to embrace the unexpected and adapt rapidly based on the opportunities it presents. Gone are the days when large multinational corporations that have been around for decades could maintain their position as leading market players. These legacy businesses often become entrenched in their ways of functioning, making it challenging to execute necessary changes. An example of this is Sony's attachment to the Walkman and Discman devices that ultimately led to its hesitation in entering the digital music market. As a result, Sony lost substantial ground to its more adaptable competitors. Many businesses make minor attempts to adopt new technologies, a method the author calls the bolted-on approach. For instance, banks might introduce an app to deposit checks using a photograph, but they fail to question the necessity of paper checks in today's digital age. This approach only serves to force technology into an already dying system, yielding insignificant long-term benefits. Consider London's Heathrow Airport. Despite numerous costly efforts to modernize its facilities, the airport remains inevitably constrained by its location and design, and it will eventually be replaced by a more strategically planned airport built with advanced technology at its core. This analogy demonstrates how superficial updates to outdated systems are unsustainable in the long run. Similarly, for legacy businesses to survive and prosper, they must be willing to go beyond superficial tweaks to their existing systems. It's essential to make fundamental changes that address the root of inefficiency and shift towards a more visionary and adaptive strategy. In a world where survival of the fittest now equates to adaptability and resilience, companies must embrace change to stay ahead of the curve and secure their position in the ever-evolving landscape of the digital age. Embracing technology's evolution. The future may be uncertain, but by examining the past, we can observe patterns in how societies have responded to emerging technologies. From electricity to computers and the internet, there is a consistent theme of reluctance, followed by slow adaptation, and eventual seamless integration. Each new era took less time than the last for technologies to become fully embraced, showing a promising acceleration of progress. As we stand in the ever-changing landscape of modern technology, it's essential to understand that the future is unpredictable. Despite numerous attempts to predict the next big thing, the only certainty is uncertainty. However, by delving into the past, we can find practical insights into the evolution of technology and its impact on our lives. When we examine recent history, we can identify three significant eras that reveal a recurring pattern in how businesses and society have reacted to new developments: the introduction of electricity, the emergence of computers, and the current ongoing digital revolution, consisting of the internet and its countless applications. In each of these eras, there is a noticeable reluctance, at first, to fully embrace and incorporate the new technology. Time and time again, groundbreaking inventions were initially just supplementary or secondary add-ons to traditional methods. This juxtaposition of old and new would generate chaos until the innovation ultimately became integrated, adopted, and so pervasive that it blended seamlessly into everyday life. Take electricity, for example. First shown to the world in the 1830s as having immense potential for both homes and businesses, it astonishingly took around a century for it to become a standard and indispensable part of daily life. Factories that had previously relied on steam power were hesitant to adopt this revolutionary change. Additionally, it took quite a while for companies to realize that they didn't merely need to upgrade existing factories with electrical power, but rather build entirely new facilities optimized for electricity. Similarly, the path from the first computers to their widespread acceptance followed suit. In half the time it took for electricity, the 50-year mid-period saw cautious businesses incorporating computers into only select processes, retaining as much of their traditional methods as possible. With the dawn of the digital era and the proliferation of the Internet, we're currently in the midst of yet another transformation. While strides have been made, many businesses still only dabble in technology, applying it to the edges of their operations. Learn from the past, don't fear the new. As history demonstrates, the sooner we adopt and adapt to the changes, the better off we'll be, ready to tackle the challenges and opportunities that the uncertain future may hold. Rethinking disruption. The true essence of disruption doesn't lie in adopting new technology with a cheaper price, but rather in entirely reinventing the way a business operates, shifting the paradigm and transforming the industry's core principles. Companies like Uber and Airbnb exemplify this approach as they haven't just added technology to their outer layers, but rather incorporated innovation into the core of their business, fundamentally altering how they function. To truly disrupt an industry, bold ideas must transcend the traditional boundaries and prerequisites of that sector, resulting in a complete shift of the underlying framework. Contrary to popular belief, disruption in the business world isn't merely about introducing a new technology at a lower price and overshadowing established companies. This notion can be supported by looking at some of the most formidable disruptors in recent years such as Uber and Airbnb. These companies didn't primarily focus on offering lower prices or introducing shiny new gadgets. In fact, customers using Airbnb might end up spending more than they would at a traditional hotel. The real power of these disruptors is their ability to fundamentally change the way people approach business processes in industries like transportation and hospitality. To foment true disruption, simply slapping on new technology and undercutting competitors' prices isn't enough. Instead, businesses need to delve deeper and embrace bold innovation right at their core. A common practice among many organizations is to add technology to their outer layers, which encompass their communication methods, marketing efforts, product or service systems, and overall functionality. While these enhancements do yield certain benefits, they don't create disruption in the truest sense. Consider the car rental company Hertz as an example. While it allows customers to submit video-recorded complaints in lieu of online forms, this is essentially just another technological tool that doesn't alter their traditional car rental business model. If Hertz truly sought to embrace disruption, it would need to revamp its core business plan and align it with those of entities like Zipcar, which operates purely through app-based services. Crafting an innovative business plan involves breaking free from the assumed boundaries and limitations of your industry. Uber and Airbnb accomplished this feat by dismissing the notion that a company must own physical assets like cars and rooms to meet the needs of customers looking for rides or accommodations. By developing ideas that challenge the conventional parameters of your chosen industry, your chances of shifting the paradigm and triggering genuine disruption will significantly improve. 4 ways to innovate your business. Businesses can achieve innovation and disrupt their industries through 4 main strategies: self-disruption, continual reinvention, making measured bets, and hedging. Self-disruption involves an organization investing in a new approach that could render a current process obsolete. Continual reinvention allows companies to adapt to evolving market demands, often by investing in research and development. Measured bets involve venturing into new territory without relying on it for profit, fostering the development of new technology. Hedging includes businesses investing in other innovative companies, positioning to benefit from cutting-edge ideas that could enhance their operations. At times, established businesses can disrupt their industries by embracing one of four key innovation strategies. The first approach is self-disruption, which involves a company investing in a groundbreaking technology or method that could make their current processes obsolete. One notable example is Netflix, which disrupted itself when it shifted from DVD rentals to streaming. Despite initial challenges, Netflix's successful self-disruption illustrates how adopting a more futuristic approach can lead to significant rewards and growth. The second tactic is to focus on continual reinvention, where flexibility and adaptability become vital aspects of a company's operations. Rather than adhering to rigid plans, continual reinvention allows businesses to evolve with changing market circumstances. Facebook, which evolved from a social reconnecting platform to the world's most influential media company, is an apt example of this approach. Its continuous investments in research and development demonstrate its commitment to adaptability. The third strategy, making measured bets, involves venturing into new areas without relying on them as primary profit sources. Instead, this approach allows businesses to develop new technology and ideas that could potentially benefit their other sectors. The BMW series represents such a measured bet, as BMW has produced a limited number of electric vehicles while focusing primarily on their traditional vehicle models. Through this strategy, the company can innovate without jeopardizing their main source of revenue. Finally, hedging encompasses the practice of investing in other businesses that possess innovative, cutting-edge ideas that may prove beneficial. Companies like Google, Dell, Cisco, and Intel use this strategy to stay ahead of the competition and gain access to valuable technologies. This is exemplified by Google Ventures, as well as the early investment of chemical manufacturer DuPont in General Motors at its inception in 1914. Overall, these four tactics, self-disruption, continual reinvention, making measured bets, and hedging, allow established companies to initiate change, achieve innovation, and make a mark in their industries. By adopting one or a combination of these strategies, businesses can thrive amidst competition and meet the ever-evolving demands of the market. Embracing the digital future. The future of digital technology lies in envisioning just one or two steps ahead, shaping the path for innovations that are soon to emerge. As the Internet of Things and 5G Internet service development progress, we see interconnected devices in real time making daily lives more convenient, such as the Nest thermostat. In the same light, facial recognition may very well replace traditional identification methods. Nevertheless, businesses must prioritize data security and transparency to ensure consumer trust and smooth integration of new technologies. A decade ago, streaming video was unmistakably the upcoming game changer. Today, foreseeing the progression of other digital trends provides insight into the next big thing. To unlock its potential, we need to consider its implications, as well as the secondary opportunities that will surface. Take the Internet of Things, IoT, and 5G Internet service, for example. With 5G enabling greater connection among devices in real time, we will not only process data at unprecedented speeds but also witness simplified transactions. An early glimpse into the IoT landscape comes in the form of Nest's digital thermostats, streamlining heating and air conditioning control in homes. It's only a matter of time before our temperature, lighting, and background music are automatically tailored upon our arrival. This seamless integration of digital technology with daily life marks a new direction for businesses, mirroring the growth of electricity in computers. Tomorrow's leaders will be the pioneers of this digital transformation. Facial recognition technology also holds promise, potentially becoming an accepted form of ID alongside passports. Imagine a world where face recognition technology manages everything from travel to payments, uniting bank accounts and permissions in a single paperless source. However, the opportunities that IoT and facial recognition bring also raise concerns about privacy and data security. As a result, businesses need to prioritize protecting their consumers' data while maintaining transparency regarding its usage. The allure of a digitally enhanced, seamless life experiences may outweigh nervousness about data protection for many. Consequently, it's the responsibility of future companies to provide security and excellent value for the data collected. Seamless digital experiences. Amazon's one-button purchase option demonstrates the critical importance of differentiating between shopping and buying. The key to success for businesses today is making the buying experience as seamless, effortless, and forgettable as possible. As technology becomes ever-present in our lives, consumers notice only when it fails. Success lies in empathizing with user needs instead of fixating on the latest technology buzzwords. As the digital era progresses, forward-thinking companies must prioritize creating frictionless experiences, enabling people across all boundaries to access their services easily. This includes integrating emerging technologies, like AI, in a manner that truly benefits users and innovates beyond basic implementations. Amazon's one-button purchase option is a powerful example of understanding the distinction between shopping and buying. By focusing on making the buying experience quick, painless, and unmemorable, businesses stand to gain more customers and user loyalty. In today's increasingly connected world, digital disappointments abound, from payment method limitations to streaming content restrictions. People tend to show attention to technology only when it fails to deliver on their expectations. Consequently, the business leaders of tomorrow will be those who successfully make tasks such as purchasing products and streaming content seamless and effortless. The key to creating such experiences is not merely in chasing the latest technology, but in understanding and empathizing with users' needs. Rather than getting lost in buzzwords like interactive and digital, it is essential to think about connecting the tools that people already use to provide better experiences. As the digital era unfolds, it brings forth a hybrid world where devices serve multiple purposes and regional restrictions become irrelevant. National currencies may also matter less, as we move toward a more globalized society. The challenge is to help people everywhere have frictionless experiences with technology. Incorporating cutting-edge advancements, such as artificial intelligence, AI, should go beyond simple chatbot integrations. Innovative and disruptive companies must deploy these technologies in transformative ways, using them to help people in creative, new ways that reinforce their core business plans.
In conclusion, digital Darwinism argues that legacy businesses must not be afraid of self-disruption, continuous reinvention, and bold innovation if they wish to survive and succeed today. As Goodwin shows, companies like Uber and Airbnb fundamentally reshaped industries by breaking free from the assumed parameters of tradition. In the digital age, businesses need to be open to exploring new technologies like the Internet of Things, facial recognition, AI, and 5G, while keeping customer empathy and transparency at the core of their practices. By embracing the uncertainty of tomorrow with agility and adaptability, companies can redefine their industries and create seamless, integrated experiences for their customers.